All right, so here is my load development. On the left here are the ELDs, and you can see I got 3 drops at 41.6, 41.3, 41.0, and 40.7. In the middle here, 4 more powder drop nodes here with the Burgers, the 140 grain boat tail hollow points, the hybrid targets, and also here the SMK's 142. And you can see those 3 different bullet flavors right here. And I have my Fowler round in here already. And these are some old reloads from the old barrel. But enough of the BS talk, let's get this going at 100 yards. To the point, informative, entertaining, and protecting the Second Amendment. Welcome back to Elster's Rifles and Reloading. And I am out at the 300 yard range, shooting at 100 yards, doing the load development, initial load development for my old Gen 1 RPR. It is windy today, so you might hear some of that wind. So hopefully this windsock is cutting that down. But regardless, you know, I think for some of my old school viewers that have been watching my channel since, I don't know, I think I started back in 2012, 2013. Some of my first initial videos was with the Gen 1 Ruger Precision Rifle and 6.5 Creedmoor. And I can't prove this, but I was probably one of the first to ever get an RPR in their hands. So much so that the guys at Krieger barrels got a hold of me, and they wanted to get my Ruger in their hands because they seen some of the postings I was making on Sniper's Hide. And they noticed I wasn't having the best of luck with the factory barrel. And they got a hold of my RPR, and I can't prove this, but I'm pretty sure I was one of the first to have a direct thread aftermarket barrel on a Ruger Precision Rifle. And it wasn't a drop-in, it wasn't a pre-fit, it was an actual direct thread. And that thing was an absolute hammer. I mean, I have a lot of nostalgic memories with this rifle. I'll probably never get rid of it. So much so that I purchased another Krieger drop-in pre-fit barrel for this, and I got this mounted up. And this is a 24-inch stainless 1-in-8 twist Krieger barrel. It's a 4R, not a 5R. Personally, I could care less if it's 4R or 5R. Can't really tell the difference between the two, to be honest with you. That's the amount of riflings in the bore, whether they're 4 riflings or 5. For those that are absolutely new. But first initial shots on the very first video I took of this with the aftermarket pre-fit drop-in barrel, and I'll have a description of that video link in the description box below. It was pretty good, and those rounds was the old ammunition based off my old barrel, and that's old barrel's barrel harmonics. It was really impressive right out of the gate. So I'm here to do this load development, and once I get through this, I can pick which bullet flavor and powder drop node that this particular bore likes to shoot. Then I'm going to play around with the Eric Cortina tuner brake that I have on here right now, and I hone that down even more, and maybe start playing with some bullet jumps too. But I think with that Eric Cortina tuner brake after this load development, it's probably going to be all she's going to need, especially as a weekend warrior rifle and budget minded as that. But right now, just kind of go over this quick. I have a Harris bipod 6 to 9 inch notched leg with a swivel and bipod lock. I have the SLR handguard and the SLR spacer for the barrel nut. I have the Vortex Precision one-piece AR style mount. I personally like to use AR style mounts for Ruger Precision rifles rather than individual rings. This is the Vortex Precision cantilever one-piece mount with 20 minutes of angle built in, and this has 20 minutes of angle built in, plus the rail has 20 minutes, that's 40 total minutes. So this is definitely a 1 mile gun all day long, especially with this minutes of angle built in, the setup along with the Strike Eagle 5 to 25 first focal plane optic. You know, and this is a really great budget-minded optic from Vortex, the 5 to 25 Strike Eagle. Obviously a magnification range from 5 to 25, adjustable diopter, has illumination, lockable turrets that you can pop up, make your adjustment, and lock it back down, and a zero stop. Especially for the money, they're really, really hard to beat. But enough of the BS talk. Let's jump in this load development, and after this, we'll head back to the reloading room and get this scored up. All right, so this should be zeroed in at 100 yards. So it looks like it's a little high and to the right, but I think I'm going to stick with that. I don't want to destroy my point of aim. All right, I'm going to start in with the 40.7 on the ELDs. So yeah, not too bad. See, that's about a half minute of angle group, maybe a little over that. Obviously this is the low end of the powder spectrum, so primers look really good. 41.0 ELDM. See, that's pretty much a bullet in a bullet hole. I don't think it gets really any better than that. That's got to be under a quarter minute of angle. That's pretty damn impressive. Wow. All right, up next, ELDM's 41.3. Nice little 3-leaf clover there. I'd say that's probably a little over a quarter minute, probably 3/8. So far, so good. All right, up next is 41.6. Looks that one opened up just a little bit. Interesting point of impact shift there. I'd say it's still 3/4 of a minute, maybe a half. So let's take a break here. I'll let this barrel cool down before we move on to the next bullet flavor. All right, let me get this paused here. And man, oh man, right out of the gate, that is super impressive. You know, these are 3/4 inch pasties. I'd say that's a little under a half minute. That is just one ragged bug hole there. I'd say that's less than a quarter. I'd say this is probably a 1/4 to 3/8. And that's probably about a 1/2 inch, maybe a little over 1/2 inch. But right out of the gate, off of a clean barrel, one follow around, the ELDMs, the 140 grades are looking really good. Really inexpensive bullets in comparison to the other two. But let's let this barrel cool down and we'll move on to the hybrid targets, 140 grain. All right, so we are getting back on target here. Hybrid targets, the 140 grain, bull tail hollow points. Let's move on to the 40.1. Wow, that could have been a smoking group. First two were literally a bullet in a bullet hole, but still not bad. I'd say it's about a 1/2 minute of angle. 40.4. Yeah, I'm getting some mirage here, but hey, it is what it is. Yeah, still not too bad. I'd say it's hovering right around a 1/2 minute, maybe pushing 5/8. On to the 40.7. Yeah, kind of like a 3-leaf clover there. I'd say that's a little under a 1/2 minute of angle. On to the 41.0. Well, last one was pretty much a bullet in a bullet hole. It's still, I'd say, under a 1/2 minute, maybe pushing a minute, 1/2 minute, I mean. But that wraps up the hybrid targets, 140 grain. We have left are the 142 SMKs. Looks like my target is falling down, literally. Let's get this paused here, get this fixed. Come on, hold up for me. Just got one more round. But, you know, not too freaking shabby across the board. I mean, it didn't really matter what the powder drop node was. They're pretty much all identical. I mean, we're talking, I mean, obviously I haven't measured this yet. I'm out in the range, but probably under half minute, maybe pushing a half, probably 3/8, and probably 3/8 if not less. So, you know, I guess this type of bullet flavor just doesn't care what powder I drop, I know what I drop it at. And I think this is where the Air Cortuna tuner brake's really going to come in handy. And I mean, just holy smokes, that is just super impressive. So let's see how these 142 grain SMKs do. All right, so first up the bat is 40.7. 142 grain SMK boat tail hollow points. Oh man, I'm telling you, that's giving that 41.0 ELDMs a run for its money. Holy smokes, it's just another ragged hole. It's freaking awesome, love it. All right, onto the 41.0. Oh, not too bad. All bullets touching. See, that's probably about 3/8, maybe pushing a half. 41.3. Damn, the old bullets touching again. It's right under half, pushing a half. I think at this point it's just pick your poison. I mean, pretty much everything across the board. This barrel doesn't care what it shoots. Just unfreaking believable. You know, and Krieger did send me this barrel, not for free. They did sell it to me for cost. I think it was $300, I think, off the top of my memory. But my previous Krieger in this 6.5 Creedmoor RPR was just a freaking hammer, and this is just as much as a hammer. Now I've yet to even touch the Air Cortina tuner brake. And so once I pick one of these, which, you know, I got two serious bug hole contenders there, I started playing with this Air Cortina tuner brake. This thing is just going to be a freaking hammer, and so far I'm super impressed, especially for such an inexpensive rifle. But you know, this is what reloads are all about, you know, just getting your reloads down and then tune that out with this tuner brake. So looking forward to that in a future video. So 41.6, last three. That's interesting, a little low. Still bullet in a bullet hole pretty much. Yeah, a little bit high, but still, say that's about a half, maybe under half. And do I even have a group over a half minute? I don't think so until I get these measured up. But holy smokes, that is freaking awesome. Let's head down. So all completely shot. Haven't even touched the Air Cortina tuner brake yet. I think my load development is pretty much done. I just got to pick one of these, which is going to be pretty hard to do. But let's head down and check this out. All right, so wow, it's just like, what, pick your poison. I don't think I can go wrong anywhere here, regardless of the powder drop node or the bullet flavor. You know, obviously right out of the gate here, you know, I got a serious contender here with the ELD 41.0. Gosh, I'd say they're pretty much the same size. Maybe this one might even be smaller. I guess I'm not sure until I score this up. But under a quarter, probably a half under a half, probably 3/8, probably 3/8. So I'm just ecstatic about this. You know, these Krieger barrels, they're a 4R barrel, they're not a 5 rifling barrel. This is a 1-8 twist, 24-inch heavy. I have that Eric Cortina tuner brake, which I've yet to even touch. So I'm gonna have to go home and really do some thought on this, of which one I'm gonna pick until I start playing around with that Eric Cortina tuner brake to even hone this down even more. But holy smokes. I mean, that is just freaking awesome. Let's score this up. So I'm back in the reload room, and I got the 3 different bullet flavors scored up. All 3 bullet flavors dropped to the same type of powder, H4350. In my surprise, the ELDMs, let me patch you guys in here actually, I'll start recording my screen. The ELDM 40 grains actually was the winner, and there's a slight chance that being that this came off a freshly clean bore, I did have the 1 Fowler shot before this, these 4 powder drop nodes, that could have some effect to it, but I doubt it. I did take a solid break between the 3 different bullet flavors, but you can see, at least with the ELDMs, the clear winner was the 41.0 of H4350 at 0.131 MOA. Worst one being the 0.611 MOA, but the 4 total groups, 3 bullets each, was averaging out at 0.385 minutes of angle, which is insanely impressive. So I'm really ecstatic about this. Moving on to the Berger 140 grain, the hybrid targets, boat tail hollow points. Pretty consistent across the board. Looks like the best one here is with 40.7 grains of H4350 at 0.356 minutes of angle, and all 4 groups at 3 shots each averaged out at 0.454 minutes of angle here. Really close second. And then the SMK 142s, the second best 3-shot group here, starting right out of the gate at 40.7 grains of H4350 at 0.193 minutes of angle. Worst group would be here, 0.544 minutes of angle, but this still averaged 4 total groups at 3 shots each, 0.399. So, I mean, holy smokes. Obviously, the best group was in that ELD 140s at 0.131, and the worst group was the same bullet at 0.61. I don't think there's anything over 0.611 MOA, I believe. Let me just double check here. Yeah, so, you know, damn near everything at a half a minute of angle or less, which is pretty darn impressive, other than what, one here, one here, one here, and one here, just hovering over a half minute of angle. Vast majority of them under a half minute, which that's really impressive. I mean, let me bring up my calculator here.
And what do we got here? 0.385 plus, let's see here, 0.54 plus 0.399 equals
divided by 3 for the average. Across the entire spectrum of every single bullet shot, across 3 different bullet flavors, across different powder drop nodes of H4350, it averaged 0.413. That is insane. And I've yet to even touch the Eric Cortina tuner brake. So I'm super ecstatic about this. I think what I'm probably going to do is revisit, obviously, the SMK 142s. And I think I'm just going to completely bypass the Bergers here, which I kind of find amazing that these didn't shoot better. And then obviously drop that 41.0 H4350 with the ELDMs. Holy smokes. I mean, I don't think it, for an RPR, very inexpensive rifle, right out of the gate, you know, I think we shot maybe, I don't know, 20, 30 using the old ammunition from my old barrel. And that even shot amazing. Seems like this Krieger 24-inch heavy stainless 1 twist 6.5 Creedmoor barrel just will pretty much shoot whatever it wants, regardless of the note or bullet flavor. But I will keep you guys updated on this. I'm super impressed so far with how this turned out. And yeah, I don't think you could ask for a better start when it comes to load development. And that's what this is all about. It's about your own journey. This is my journey. And I will definitely keep you guys updated with this particular setup. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this being shot out the range. And I'll probably end up doing this next step of finalizing the load development live, most likely. And I will be using the super trickler here, dropping that powder live. So other than that, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Hit that notification bell so you can make sure you get notified. Double check that, make sure those notifications are on. If they're not, turn it on so you can get those notifications, not only for my videos, but when I do go live. Subscribe, like, and share. That's all I can ask for. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys out of the range.